these videos about recreation and park development. Recreation and park development has been seen as a key factor in promoting the revival of many larger cities, as the wealthy and young professionals have moved into newly rehabilitated or developed residential areas. The process has become known as gentrification. Round and waterfront or factory areas have been transformed into attractive sites for shopping, sightseeing, cultural activities, and entertainment. Recreation has been stressed as critical to making cities more livable, attracting tourists, and retaining middle-class and wealthy residents. In numerous other communities, public recreation and park departments have constructed new water play parks, tennis complexes, creative arts centers, marinas, and other recreational facilities. At the same time, there has been pronounced shift of millions of residents from the older cities of northern and midwestern states to such Sunbelt states as Florida, Arizona, and Southern California. Millions of older men and women have retired to communities in these states, and many others have moved to them to find jobs in their flourishing economies. Within each of these population shifts, recreation and leisure play an important role. Many individuals and families place high value on the recreational and cultural opportunities that are available in the communities that they are considering moving to, and large corporations regard this factor as an important element with respect to staff recruitment and rotation. Parks and recreation areas and programs are increasingly important to urban, suburban, and rural residents. Increasing attention is being given to urban recreation and parks as reported by the Urban Institute and the Wallace Foundation. The new view of urban parks calls attention to the broader contributions they can make to the vitality of communities and their residents. These contributions include, first, helping youth choose rewarding paths through adulthood by providing programs and opportunities to build physical, intellectual, emotional, and social strength. Second, helping new entrants to the workforce find productive jobs by offering decent and reliable employment opportunities in the community. Third, helping community residents improve their health by providing a place to enjoy fresh air and exercise. And last, helping citizens to make their communities better by encouraging them to participate in park planning and management.
According to Jensen Verbeek's 1986 model of waterfront as part of the urban tourism product, belong to the primary elements being one of the main physical characteristics in the leisure setting of an urban tourism destination and therefore can play an important role in attracting visitors to a city. Waterside areas incorporate several functions within a city environment. It can act as a traffic artery, a location for industrial and commercial activities, a drain or reservoir, residential areas as well as the recreational resource. The diversity in usage indicates several different groups who use the waterfront from various reasons. It can be a place of residence, work, or recreation. These are the major usage of the waterfront, which lead to several features within a waterside area, such as housing, industry, commerce, transport, and numerous leisure and recreational facilities. Depending on the primary use, different factors are considered crucial in the development stage. However, the characteristics of having a waterfront location make these sites interesting for tourism usage.
Regarding recreational and tourism use of waterfront areas, accessibility, parking, open space facilities, water, quality, sports areas, etc. may be of high importance. Pedestrian access and open spaces offer visitors the opportunity to engage in a variety of activities. Also, if waterfronts provide convenience linkages between their internal parts, it encourages the exploration of that area for pedestrian tourists. In general, tourism such as waterfronts perform several functions for the visitor that can be characterized. The rise in leisure time, resulting in increased tourism and recreational activity as well as growing concern for heritage, conservation, and environmental conservation to attract visitors to a destination has meant that a number of the waterfronts in major cities around the world have been redeveloped with conservation, recreation, and tourism in mind, which leads to the creation of new leisure tourism spaces as well as increased visitors numbers.
Waterfronts started to become recognized as an important features of urban development and regeneration in the latter half of the 20th century. At that time, Many cities and especially their wastewater slide location had to face the negative consequences of the fast technological and economic development, resulting in abandoned and neglected waterfront on port areas. A shift from production to consumption on the waterfront can be identified. Warehousing and goods production activities that were clustered around ports have been replaced with luxury hotels that have become a new characteristic of waterfront areas in urban tourism destination. The shift is not a new phenomenon, but is increasingly used to secure future growth and to be internationally competitive. It is argued that leisure and tourism are used to fill the gap resulted from the abandonment of waterfront areas. Tourism becomes either the major objective behind the redevelopment or the area's original use are partly maintained with tourism incorporated into these plans. However, people's natural attraction to waterslide regions is often reason enough for water-oriented tourism development. Although tourism and recreation are not focused for most waterfront development projects, the importance and potential of these sectors often gains more attention while the project progresses, and the waterfront develops partial deficiency on tourism-related issues.
Warren and Taylor point out the importance of historic structure within waterfront areas and their use for tourism. In their study of Miller's Point in Sydney, Waite and McGurk in 1997 engaged with the significance of cultural tourism as a means for revitalizing waterfront precincts. Often the reuse of redundant buildings can provide a profitable economic basis for tourism-related income. However, only a small number of waterfront development planes have a sole tourism and leisure-related background. A mixed-use approach to renewal to more common and increases the chances of developing a flourishing waterfront area. Nonetheless, some argue that cultural and place-specific elements should be incorporated into the physical form of these precincts, rather than only supplying spatial diversity for anticipated uses.
Example commonly refer to the redevelopment of Baltimore Inner Harbor, USA and Sydney Daring Harbor, Australia redevelopment. Although these projects date back to the 1960s until the 1980s, the idea of regenerating waterfront area to create new leisure and tourism quarter as a basis for urban tourism and regeneration initiative remain popular with urban planners as it, and also this in the new century. Current examples include Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Wellington. Leisure, recreation, and tourism activity are not necessarily dependent of waterside locations. However, these still have become closely associated with this part of a city through the provision of the quality public space of tourists as well as residents. Therefore, waterfronts have received importance recognition in terms of planning, design, management, and use for waterside areas. Law 1996 also recognized that the sea has merely become a theme background for entertainment, conference, and shopping, which acknowledge the tourism function of waterfront areas. This is supported by the fact that tourism visit waterfronts often not for special attraction but for the feel of ambience of these areas, hence for the sense of place. In addition, waterfront development projects often shape the image of the destination, which can be a major draw factor in attracting visitors.
This is particularly relevant for New Zealand. Coastal areas, whether in rural or urban settings, are important recreational and tourism resources. A wide range of stakeholders, in addition to the tourism sectors, compete for that space. As a result, The coastal zone has become one of the most contested planning spaces in the New Zealand legislative framework, which seeks to manage this often competing demands are set out in the Resource Management Act that requires the creation of a nationwide New Zealand coastal policy statement in which turn must be considered and implemented at a regional level to regional coastal plans. Originally, waterfront areas were occupied by ports, warehouses, factories, and transportation facilities. However, the last few decades, waterfronts have become increasingly attractive to other uses or were forced to find opportunities for new usage because of being abandoned after industrial change, such as containerization.
This development often forced existing sector to relocate more convenient places and resulted in new types of usage being proposed for these areas. Example of waterfront development in Philippines, aqua-private residences, both iconic and innovative. Aqua-private residences is the first waterfront residential development in the country. It was built in 2011 to target international investors, particularly Europeans, with the view of the historic Pasig River. Aqua is perfectly located between two of the busiest and most established cities, Makati and Mandaluyong. It is hard to imagine that amidst the common hustle and hustlewood in Metro Manila, there is a luxurious groundbreaking and revitalizing waterfront development. The stunning view of this skyline and the romantic vibe at the balcony are just some of the amazing things that its residents enjoy. Aqua also boasts its 6 towers, which are all named after famous waterfalls. These towering and lavish buildings are Iguazu Tower, Victoria Tower, the Typhus Tower, and Sutherland Tower.